What's up, you guys? This is Robert at Shy Bears Plus. You found us on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe, tap the bell, hit the like. Helps out a ton. While you're at it, follow me on Twitter at Shy Bears Plus and Instagram. Go to all the places and do all the likings. Everybody loves it.
Crispy
intros. Speaking of crispy intros, Jeff at +_shy. Unbelievable. I can't even intro this guy enough. Live via Skype. Say hello to the people.
What were you just looking at? Hi, people. Whoa!
Hip-hop air horn. It's so crispy. What we are here to talk about today, we're wrapping up Week 13. The Bears lost 30-27 to the Giants. Breaking protocol. Come right into it. 24 hours later, after the game, how am I feeling? I'm going to ask myself first.
Yes.
I still feel good, man. Like, I feel good about this Bears team. I'm proud of the comeback. I felt like we had a great effort. I knew we were going to come back. I don't know if we were going to win, but I knew we would come back in this game because we proved it time and time again. But this Bears team is a playoff team. They've had a lead in every single game. They're always in the game, and when they've been behind, they've come back. They've proven they can play with anybody. They're going to win the North, and if it weren't for all the ifs and the buts, which I have a little bit in the later in my show, but bad weather, backup quarterback. Anytime you win with a backup quarterback, you're stealing the game anyway. And there's lots of reasons we lost the game, but I still feel like this is a good team, and with Trubisky back, we're going to compete with anyone. What say you?
All valid points there, Shy Bears Plus, Robert. My biggest takeaway was this was a game that we let get away in so many ways, and it was quite unfortunate because of what happened in the NFC North and the Saints losing on Thursday. All those things factored in. Would have been nice to jump into standings, but this has been the Bears' luck all year long that even though they lost, they won. And the Packers fired their coach. The Packers lost at home to Arizona. All these things that are going the Bears' way, even though in a loss, it didn't feel quite as bad as the Miami loss or the Green Bay loss, but my still reaction was like, it's not the end of the world, but it got away.
Right. I was fired up after that Miami loss, but I still understood.
I don't feel that bad.
But I didn't feel that bad after this one.
Yeah. I got some more hot reaction for you.
Sure, man. Just go ahead. Just go fire from the hip.
Just kind of on the same note, where how everybody is sounding after this game with their reactions. Like they're really good with the media, and Matt Nagy's like, he was asked about that timeout. He's like, "Oh, I feel good about that timeout." I don't really quite feel good about that timeout at the end of the first half. And you and I could go a little bit back and forth on this, but I really think this is like, it kind of was like Nagy being two-faced there, being like aggressive in this part, but then later on in the game, Matt goes for the extra point as opposed to going for two, having the Giants on the ropes and doing like some kind of trickeration there at the end and just taking the victory, right out of defeat's hands there. But, kind of seeing, the maybe absence of a runner with power or going to Jordan Howard line. It's just like, I just still, after week 13, I still don't know what we're getting with Matt Nagy.
Yeah. At first, I didn't really care about it. And then you talked me into not liking that timeout there. And I heard his explanation, and I was a little bit confused I'm like, oh, okay, well, he wanted to go after a punt block. And then he seemed like he didn't care, and then he did care. And I feel like he was just on damage control. And the first time I felt like he was actually ingenuine. and that's just me. Ordinarily, I've loved everything else that he said. It was one I was actually rubbed wrong, and we didn't pre-talk about this before the show. When I was like, man, I feel like your story's changed. I felt like you came up with the punt block thing, like cut out of thin air, and you were trying to think of a way to because you knew you messed up. But I wasn't. There's a lot of you didn't know that they're going to gain 8 yards there. You didn't know that they're going to get the first down. I probably would have called a three-player pass rush in that situation either. If you're trying to get that ball and get them into fourth down and get them into a punt situation, there's a lot of different things. And I'm just trying to go fast because I feel like I'm just blabbering on. But I wasn't. But now I'm like, you know what? Be decisive in that situation and try to get the ball back, or don't let the time tick off. So I felt like, hey, rookie mistake, and it didn't cost us the game. There was probably 6 or 7 different plays that.
True, but it didn't help.
It didn't help. Lots of things didn't help.
We lost by 3 points. We gave up 3 points there.
For sure. Let's go into the what did we get rights and the what did we get wrongs. I'll start off with mine. I'm just going to run through my what to watch for. Said Chase Daniel, can you replicate a 106 rating? He did not. 75.3. Plus a couple turnovers, plus crazy fumbles, all of that. Shaheen's return, he had a red zone touchdown. We said look out for him in the red zone. Target, there he was. Whether would be a factor, or whether it would not be a factor. It was a factor. The ball was slippery. They couldn't hold on to it. So, and then the trap game thing, I don't know if it was a trap. I don't know if they were looking ahead. I mean, when you come out and throw a pick six, and then you, after a muff punt at the start of the game, it kind of felt like there was a little loss of focus. I'm not saying it was, and trap games are inexcusable anyway. I'm not saying that's an excuse for them, but you shouldn't be, every game you should be looking at this game and winning this game. So that wasn't my excuse, but I wondered if they would lose focus, yes or no. Did you have anything you want to shout out there that you liked or didn't like about your predictions?
Just buzzing through my what to watch for was my first one was Battle of the Quans, Saquon versus Roquan, first top 10 picks, or 2 of them, both top 10 picks. I thought it was a pretty good game by Roquan. I think he was first or second or tied with the Bears' lead in tackles, solo and total. But, Saquon, I think this was an A-plus game, especially with that 3rd and 23 to get 21 yards there. And he's,
huge.
Danny Trevathan is such an accomplished tackler that, they had that one slow motion, like in the 4th quarter, where they both froze each other at the line of scrimmage. And it's just like, if you're making Danny Trevathan look like that, you're very talented. So, that was what to watch for. The weather. And I think the weather, going back, and we'll talk a little bit about Chase Daniel. Chase Daniel had 4 fumbles there and 2 interceptions and numerous slippery balls and, whatnot. Brett Favre actually had a game where he had 6 fumbles in Tampa Bay. Yeah. And actually in New York, Kurt Warner had a 6 fumble game. Those are both second in most in the NFL. So I think the elements really played a factor. Brett Favre has some of the largest hands ever, and Chase Daniels doesn't. So
all 3 Hall of Famers.
Favre, I think the build of the NFL football, the leather, the weather, they don't get to doctor the footballs anymore, which I think is a disservice to the fans that are watching. Who wants to watch all these fumbles? Let them doctor the football. Give them a range to 11 PSI to 14 PSI. Give me a break. We're talking about that. And then lastly was the injury report on the Bears. Number 10. He looked great warming up, throwing the ball. I have no doubt that he's going to be fine and playing with the Rams. Anything that Matt Nagy says this week is all fodder just to confuse the Rams. And then we talked about Hicks being on the injury report. He looked great. He played unbelievable on the line. 3rd player in the NFL history ever to have a sack and a touchdown on offense. And just numerous stops on defense. Really energetic there. If it wasn't for the secondary letting down the Bears time and time again, that was a great job by the Bears defensive line, I thought.
Yes, I felt like the first half our defensive line was struggling against getting pressure against the Giants, and then it kind of came around in the second half, and I thought we brought a little bit more pressure. But it was both offense and defense. It was first half, second half, back and forth. We weren't really consistent the whole game through. But the Quan versus Quan, you mentioned Danny T had 8 solos, and Quan had 7. So he was right up there, almost led the team again. And there was 2 plays where Barkley was trying to get away, and Roquan just outspeeded them and rode them down after a big loss, and then came back and then popped goal in the next play. Where I'm just going, let's go. It was awesome, awesome thing, awesome couple things I took a note of. But that was a great matchup. I think I had a similar type of matchup somewhere in there too. But moving on, Bears victory pluses. Stop Barkley. We did not. 24 carries, 125 yards. That's why I was off of my prediction. He averaged 5.2 a carry. I thought we had big plays against the secondary. Maybe the rain slowed some of that down, and they didn't want to chuck it right away. I know that his first deep ball Daniel threw was like a duck, and I thought it slipped out of his hand to Gabriel. I said feed the tight ends. Our tight ends had 3 targets for 2 catches, 5 yards, and a touchdown. I felt like the middle of the field was going to be open to these tight ends, especially if when we were running the ball with Howard, and they didn't utilize it. And play defense like Chase won't play well. Man up and be aggressive. Sat back in zone quite a bit. They got some first downs. I wanted us to be a lot more aggressive. What did you have on your rights and wrongs?
Yeah, with the Bears victory pluses, I wanted them to beat themselves, and they really weren't. They lead the league in turnover differential. However, this was their first game without winning the turnover battle, hence a loss. Could Chase Daniel be his mid-90s career passer rating? He wasn't. He actually ended up with 285 passing yards, but don't give me that baloney
right.
about his passer rating. Okay, he played terrible. And then get to Eli early, which we did. But Eli was really bailed out. I really think with that Saquon Barkley play, and then just the absence of communication with the Bears coaching staff, which hopefully we could get to a little bit later. But
sure.
We got to Eli early, but not enough.
For sure. Giants victory pluses, man. I said you got to get Barkley going, and they did. I thought that they should come after Chase. In the second half, they started bringing that edge pressure, and Chase couldn't handle it. We had trouble picking it up. And until the fourth quarter, and late in the fourth quarter, we didn't handle it very well at all. Get Odell the ball fast. He had 9 targets, but he only had 3 catches. I thought our secondary did a great job against him. 1 catch was only for a couple of yards and a touchdown on a missed botched coverage. You can't lose Odell Beckham in the red zone. So that was unacceptable on that mesh play for the touchdown. Defense, their money players need to play as what they were signed to do. And I felt like Ogletree, was a free agent acquisition. And the rest of the defense, they played very, very well. And I criticized the darn Giants for not feeding Barkley, not feeding him. What are they doing? Everything looked like they were going to feed him, and they did against us and beat us. I'm like, Come on, man. What are the odds? Like, you waited all season just to burn us?
I think I heard that he has the same amount of carries as Jordan Howard this year.
Is that now official?
I think that was before the game. Like I heard that mentioned. So somebody fact check that. Make sure to comment on this video and subscribe to like if you haven't already. Here are my Giants victory pluses, and these victory pluses are what is key for this team to win the game. Listen to this. I think I was right on. Control the line of scrimmage. The Giants did that. Throughout the game, yes, the Bears got pressure, but the Giants did a good job of running the ball when they needed to and keeping Eli upright. A lot of like those Sterling Shepherds or whatever, a lot of big third down conversions there with that. All right, big plays by the Giants. No shortage of big plays by the Giants. We had the reverse touchdown to start the second half. Saquon Barkley, the 21-yard play on 3rd and 23. 4th down touchdown to Odell Beckham. Those are all big plays. And then lastly is special teams. That punt, when was it? At the end of the fourth quarter? To pin them at the 1-inch line. And 2 players doing that. That is professional special teams. Unbelievable job. And then that was the long snapper that actually caught it there at the 1-yard line. Fantastic job. All those 3 things contributed to the Giants being victorious at MetLife.
Cool. I wanted to bring that up. That was an amazing. I didn't even know the rule, so I apologize in the group chat. But I didn't know that it could go back.
Somebody mentioned it on Twitter that. So I don't know the rule either. But I thought that the ball or the player, if it touched the end zone or the end line, that the ball was dead. The ball didn't. The player
Right.
didn't. That's my interpretation. I don't know if I'm right.
Yeah, when I Googled it, said the ball had to cross the line and touch.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yep.
so it was super legit. And, so I was I got thrown off by that BU on your clipboard again. Yeah, so I was wrong. But before the game, I did point out my notes from the pre-show. Howard had 162 attempts, and Barkley had 171 attempts on the fact check. So they were
So close.
so it was close. He had 9 more for the whole season, and you know the Bears are
hundreds of yards different.
yeah,
Unbelievable.
but the Bears were splitting carries, so it was kind of like how it's not a dual back.
Don't give me, that.
All right,
Don't get me started on that.
I'll get you fired up on something later then.
Well, people, I just don't know what to think. Is Howard not that good? But when I see him get in the game, I see him breaking off 6-yard runs, 7-yard runs, 5-yard runs. Getting productive runs, even with these simple trap plays or dives or draws. Right in the A gap, and I think that plays to James Daniels' strength. These guys, I think it's so much easier to run block than it is to pass block, especially with stunts going on. When you're run blocking, especially if it's, just like a zone play, these guys they just go one direction and go upfield. You have very simple directions. When you have pass protection, especially in this offense, and you're passing guys off and you got to get – it's so much more difficult, and you're not playing to their strengths. So I think a lot of the running game, yes, we have the most attempts. We're like tops. I think we're 7th in attempts. We have the most rushing attempts, 7th most rushing attempts. But look at our yards per, and that's not, I don't think, all indicative of just because of who's on the field.
Yeah. A lot of things that you touched on there. Howard, I'm a Howard fan, but if something is better, I would rather us have the something better. Like, he broke off a cutback, and then he has no top end speed, but he is what he is. He's 0 to 15 really fast, but he doesn't get up to 20. And he's really good at reading holes, reading blocks, and knowing the scheme and getting tough yards. And he will run behind his pads, but he's not 100% perfect complete back because he doesn't have that hunt breakaway speed.
But how many are there?
There aren't many.
In this offense, I think he's good enough. If you put him in places where he could succeed, then I think the Bears would succeed from it. And then on that run, yeah, I think, that was a wide open hole and everything, but that's an NFL cornerback. That's like on the equal spot on the defensive side. And it was just a pretty easy, just I think some of the camera angle from it.
Yeah.
Maybe Cohen might have got a few more yards or broke it for a touchdown there. But yes, Howard isn't a A+ back, but I think he has ran for over 1,200 yards. I don't think that's a fluke for back-to-back years.
Yeah, I agree. I know that last year you could look up a bunch of videos and highlights of him breaking off 40 or 50-yard runs, like against the Saints against cover one, and he gets to the first line and he goes and he gets caught from behind. I still think that he should be playing. He should be playing over Mizell. He shouldn't be losing those carries, and I feel like it should be more half and half. I love the Cohen dynamic. I don't think Cohen should ever leave the field. He should at least be in the slot when he's not behind there. So yeah, I have no problem with him getting a lot more carries, touches, and being more involved. You will be successful with him in there. He's proven that he could catch the ball now, which I didn't think he could. Apparently, he could learn how to catch, and I didn't know that was possible. I just thought I just thought that maybe it was depth perception. I don't know, but apparently he can't catch the ball because he catches it. So
yeah, I like. Well, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I just want to bring one more thing because so I can cross it off. There was like a off tackle play where they pulled a tackle power with Leno came around, and then Howard just followed him right around later in the game for a big game. That play was sweet, and they were doing to us. They were cracking back in Mac, and then pulling 2 backside guard and tackle or guard and center maybe, and then running that power around the corner on us, and we're giving up 5 or 6 yards a pop. I'd love to see we have such athletic linemen that I would love to see that.
You might.
I hope so too. It's copycat league, right? So be on the lookout for that. All right.
Yeah.
Off of those tangents, which I'm totally fine with. Predictions. I'm just going to go with what I had. I had 25-17 accountability. I was wrong. I thought we were going to win this game in a lower scoring game. Bears lose 30-27. There's lots of ifs and buts, and if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, it'd be Christmas every single day. 'Tis the season for that joke. But yeah, if Mitch plays, we win. If it's good weather and no Mitch, I still think we win. I firmly believe that. So the ifs and buts were there. The start of this game sucked. We had a muff punt, or a muff kickoff, pick six, and then we get the ball back and almost throw another pick. And they still persevered, so but the start of that game didn't help things in the situation. A trick play for a touchdown, pick six, all those things hurt. They hurt bad, and they hurt my prediction. So these are all my excuses for why I didn't get it right. It's a full of excuses. And then the 2 minutes left in the game, the Gabriel fumble on that slant, which Gabriel's outplayed my expectations this year. I didn't think he was that good, and he's played very well. So I don't want to knock him, but that was a factor. So many big plays in this game. How did you do on your prediction? I know that you picked us to win, but did you have anything for me?
Yeah, it's just a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
Obviously, I got my prediction wrong. I picked the Bears to win by 20 points or whatever. I didn't scoreboard Dave this one. I didn't get it right, but I think that the Bears did end up scoring, 30 points or 27. But, Chase Daniel, it goes to show you how good Mitch is and how competent Mitch is and how talented Mitch is, especially with his mobility, his elusiveness, but also with his arm strength and accuracy. How many balls of those did Chase Daniel, the balls get hung up and short, and just like not even catchable where the guy's streaking downfield. And Mitch gets rid of the football, and Mitch doesn't. He'll give up a couple sacks, but I mean, there were so many times where you have a 10-year veteran and fourth in the Heisman or whatever, not getting rid of the football, fearing the moment. You're seeing, Mitch, his footwork and his fundamentals are starting to live up to the moment, and so really excited to see. I think Mitch is healthy. What's going to happen moving forward. So that was my whiteboard prediction.
You know what, Chase? You're not 23 in this ain't Mizzou. Don't try to run with everything. Throw the ball away every once in a while. Save us the yardage and let us try to convert third downs. That would be great. We talked about it. I was just laughing about it until my head, so throwing that out there. I got a whole bunch of takes, just random stuff. I got to shoot through some. I don't know how much more you got.
On this one, I can keep going.
Yeah, me too.
Let's hear it.
Let me get you a couple from the offensive side. Bellamy with the illegal shift. One more illegal shift, and I would cut him. I would say, hey, dude, you need to get set, stop moving, and get lined up. It is driving me absolutely insane, number 15. Trey Burton, I just want to give a shout-out because, I know he's jumped off sides here and there at some inopportune times, but for the most part, he's where he's supposed to be. Team player, gritty dude, always making blocks. I saw him 2 or 3 times. I go, whoa, look, another block from Burton, just completely engulfing somebody. For a guy who wasn't supposed to be a blocking tight end, he sure puts his nose into people's pads. The Hicks touchdown, how fun. Freezer left. I would love to play for Nagy because there's always something cool, just the historical context, and all the different things that it just got to be so fun to practice, line up and go to practice with this guy with all these crazy things that they're doing, and they work, and he's got the stones to call them, which was my next one. Nagy's balls, Philly special, with no time left, with the game on the line, you can dial up the Philly special. Insane. This guy has a pair like no other. Shoot, go on, jump in.
The innovativeness on Matt Nagy, even though I'm crapping all over Nagy today, I'm still going to. And that's a play for the quarterback, right? That was specifically designed for Anthony Miller coming around, knowing that everybody knows this play by now. Chase Daniel is going to get out there. This was an intentional play to go to Miller by design because it's so worn out now.
Right. I thought I heard of that it was still supposed to go to Chase. I thought Chase said in the press conference. And one time they practiced it and it actually went to Miller. And then he's like, it's just funny that we practiced the one time, and then the ball actually went to him that time.
Zach Miller came out and practiced that play?
Yes, Zach Miller. He sewed his leg back on and got out there. Good job. Great rehab.
He's a good-looking dude, isn't he? He's sitting next to Mitch. I was like, man, Zach Miller, he just looks like a comic book character, or I don't know.
Dude, I feel like I resemble some Zach Miller lately with the beard
You do,
and the
grow
kind
your
of the
beard
hair.
like that.
Dude, yeah.
Not messing around.
I don't think I could look that good, though. Let's be honest. That guy's
Dan
seriously
Blazarian
handsome.
Miller.
Superhero handsome, that guy. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
The Cohen play, I don't think he got touched.
What?
That should have been a touchdown. The one where he got touched.
Oh,
it was
yeah. The
fourth
terrible
quarter.
Officiating.
I
Yep.
think 12-20 left. The officiating. Well, we'll get into. Do you want to just jump into a bunch of officiating?
Yeah, I mean, we can. It was
Good.
Everybody knows it was an S show. You know, just it was fluky. It wasn't. You know, they called 12 penalties on the Giants, and we still lost. You know, there's
Right.
the flag on every single play, and it's like every big play now. Everybody just looks. Is there a flag? Is there a block on the back? You know, on a big play, you know, where it's a little touch but these guys are so dumb on special teams that they push in the back all the time. So, like, I mean, I don't blame the officiating, but, like, there's blatant, they're missing blatant calls and no accountability. I don't know what's going on.
My note: officiating equals trash, because it's trash.
Oh.
It is so trash. I don't know what a catch is. I don't know what a pass interference is. I don't know what it is. The A-Rob awesome catch where he caught it like over BW Webb's helmet. Dude, that was pass interference. There was no flag on that. The last play of the game, he had a hand on his shoulder before he went up to go knock that ball away. So many uncalled holds. BW Webb interfered or held on every single play. Yep. And no calls. I just don't know. So I just wanted to point out, I'm glad you brought it up because I was going to later. Officiating, NFL equals trash. But yeah, A-Rob catch, 2 in that first half. The one over his helmet and then the other one dragging the feet. Making some plays like a wide receiver 1, which you'd love to see.
Oh, my goodness.
He seems to be getting more and more
fourth
comfortable.
down, that first fourth down in either overtime or at the end of the regulation, you know, he was getting open. It was just that Chase Daniel was throwing the ball with a puss arm and not getting it. You know, he's like lighting it in there.
Right.
And that separation
on the wrong
that
side
Allen
of the
Robinson
body
created, it was done for because he's playing in the NFL, not in the SEC or the wherever the heck Mizzou is, Big 12 back in the day.
Yeah.
98, whenever the hell he graduated.
The ball placement left something to be desired, especially on those slants, which I love seeing the more slants for first downs. They're easy plays, they're easy gains if you put the ball on the right side of the body. So, you know, great point with that. But, you know, and I keep – the one thing is Chase – you know, there's not a lot of backups in this league, not named Foles, that are going to win you a whole bunch of games in a row. So I'd hate to put it all on Chase and all that. The turnovers and the fumbles, that was embarrassing, and the not throwing away the ball was embarrassing. But I still don't even want to put it all on him because we just went over 19 different plays that were the outcome were such a close game. But he was still a big part of it. And
he was the worst part of it, is what it was. And it was so it was really terrible. Like, it was like you can't handle a snap. And when you can't handle the snap and you repeatedly do that, and, you know, you make a great play on first down or whatever, and then it's second and short, and then now it's 3rd and 7 or it's 3rd and 15 or whatever because you can't handle a snap, you know, and it was a miracle, and it shows you how good and how deep the team is to win in spite of that performance.
You can't win in the NFL when you're, running 50 or 60 plays and 5 or 6 of them are a fumbled snap or 4 or 5 or whatever it was. You can't just give away plays.
I would say 10 fumbled snaps. 10 fumbled snaps. I would that not necessarily they were marked
on the ground.
You could go there and that RPO to Shaheen right on the 2-yard line or whatever. That was on 3rd or 4th down or something like that. He wanted to give that to Howard. Howard just had like a 7-yard run up the middle. He fumbled that snap. He fumbled the snap to Hicks. It was over and over again. The NFL, wet football, small hands. I mean, all bets are off.
All bets are off.
Take it off the books, Bovada.
I just got a couple more on defense. Fuller, What a great interception. He saw the short drop back and jumped the route. He's playing like a Pro Bowler. I definitely feel like he should be in there. You nailed it on the video last night with Eddie Jackson. Probably is still going to be a Pro Bowler, but the Defensive Player of the Year, when the guy can't make a tackle and get his head around on the right side, and so the Miami game, so many games where he's missed a big tackle. He's an incomplete player, but he's really killing in the pass game for sure. And then Nichols had a couple more huge, penetration stops.
And they're putting him in those times where they need a big stop.
Yeah.
This isn't garbage time. This is big time. And because they don't really play subs too much. Even if Mac is grabbing and they can't get air, they're playing their number ones. They don't really substitute too much, which is something I don't like, but we'll talk about that another time.
I like Roy Robertson-Harris off the edge. Roy Robertson-Harris off of the edge, getting some pressure and getting some looks there too. Maybe he's not the fastest, most blazing speed edge guy, but there's a lot of guys that made a lot of money in this league just bull rushing to getting home. So I have no problem with him getting some tick out there and relieving him or Floyd, Mac or Floyd, every once in a while and getting a little bit more rotation now that you had mentioned it. What else straight fire do you have? Because I'm about done and about ready to wrap this thing up unless you got it.
Yeah, you got it. Here, I'm just going to go through, I'm going to rapid fire some negatives and some positives. Once again on the Matt Nagy front, not knowing who he is, it's the people that he's putting in these situations, Broniker over Shaheen a couple times. Mm-hmm. Gabriel over Robinson on that last play. Whether that was meant to go to him, if it was a zero blitz and they were chucking it deep on purpose, go to 12. He's been making all the plays all day long. Just the interior offensive line pass protection was terrible. The secondary was very inept with pass coverage, blowing numerous big plays there, that reverse pass, and that fourth down conversion by Odell on both of those. And then Vic Fangio and the coaching staff, I'm not quite sure with the communication. It was 3rd and 23, and if Matt Nagy's saying that we were going to go block the punt, well, why didn't you blitz on that 3rd and 23, like you said, as opposed to laying back in coverage? Then it's 4th and 2, and then we're in this Hail Mary prevent, and we totally got deep there, and they throw that tight end level play for 10 yards or whatever, and they get that 30 yards in a heartbeat because we don't know how to communicate. And Matt Nagy calls that timeout. Did Fangio even know that timeout was going to be called? Did he have the right personnel? So that's some of my questioning, with this coaching staff, putting defensive players out there when they're winded over and over again. And then one time, Vic Fangio has, I talked about this in pregame, he has Trevathan all the way outside man-to-man coverage on Saquon Barkley. It's like, what the heck is that? Maybe we got caught in a base 3-4 or something, but that should have never happened. I mean,
I was calling for Roquan on him all day at minimum. So
yeah,
dude, he's a stud.
Yeah. Lastly, here's my positives, just so we could have a good taste of Allen Robinson. Unbelievable game. I thought Charles Leno played great. Cohen, he had his most yards from scrimmage, or I think for a game. He carried. He played really great. Caught the ball when we needed to. Couple big punt returns. Hicks on defense. He just proved how valuable and how good he is. Cody Parkey had a great game. He made all his extra points, and he made his field goals. He was 5 for 5 on a day. And then our punting was good. 50-yard average. We had that 65-yarder to flip it in the first quarter, whatever. That was great. The Bears didn't give up. They didn't quit. You hear all their answers, and they knew they weren't going to quit. You knew they weren't going to quit. Right. I knew they weren't going to quit. It was a fun game. Just let it get out of our hands.
It was a fun game. I guess my last two feel-good things I'll just throw in there because I thought of them. The freezer left. I'll never forget that Bears moment ever, where they went and did the fridge play. And I saw someone do a back-to-back between the fridge and that play. The only difference was they motioned their wing to the left side, and ours just kind of stayed there. But What a cool moment. And then the other thing that was just kind of funny, there was like 2 career decision situations that the Giants had. One was Odell Beckham not going for that onside kick. He wanted no part of jumping into that, was it Daniel Brown or Broniker? He wanted no part of that. He's like,
No, Daniel, it was
Daniel Brown?
Broniker recovered it, but Brown recovered it. Broniker kind of like,
dove into it.
Touched it first.
Okay. And then the other one was Eli Manning, where there was a screenplay and he just threw it straight to the ground. It probably should have been grounding and back was all on his face, but another career decision. Like, hey, I want to play the rest of the season out. There's 2 really bad ones where like that was awful.
The play that led to the Matt Nagy timeout at the end of the first half, it was that Floyd blitz on the stunt, on that twist, and Floyd killed Eli. Then the next play, Hicks came through, and then Eli just dove on the ground right there. That's when we had peak momentum right there.
Yeah.
Just let it go to half, Nagy. We're 9-3, baby. We're in 3rd in the NFC. We're going to host the game. But hey, maybe it was supposed to happen. We lost to Miami in the 13th week in 85.
Yeah.
Bear down.
I was caught counting 3 wins already this year. Green Bay, Miami, and this one. Where I'm like, oh, we got the club dub tonight. And then things didn't work out so well. But anyway, story, the life and times. What a time to be alive. What a time to be a Bear fan. All these things. But I think it's time to say goodbye to my friends out there. Thank you so much for watching. We greatly appreciate it. We appreciate the support. We love the comments. I feel like you guys have been falling off on the comments, so get in on there. We also love when you subscribe, you like, and you hit the bell, and then you share the content and follow on Twitter and Instagram. We love all that stuff. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Any final thoughts before you take us home, Jeff?
Man, I talked enough. Check us out on all those things that he said. We'll see you later on this week. That's all she wrote.